Hello and welcome to Tomi Talks TV. I have one singular goal with this show, and that is to help you make smarter decisions so that you can have better relationships. I'd like to say a very big thank you to all of you for all your likes, your shares, your comments on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. I really appreciate your support because you're helping us spread the message further faster. So thank you very much indeed. Now today I'm going to be taking another one of your questions, and it goes like this. After my first and only relationship, I find it difficult to love again. I am 36 and I'm still a virgin. What can I do? Now, the way you framed this question suggests to me that it's not that there has been a lack of opportunity for you to enter into other relationships, but there has probably been some form of resistance in your heart, or it's like you don't feel fully engaged or prepared to enter into another relationship. So it seems as if the relationship you had, the first relationship you ever had, is holding you back from entering into other relationships. Now, breaking up is always difficult. There's no doubt about it. It's always difficult, to break up if you've been in a relationship, and especially, the first time that you've been in a relationship with someone. But not to be able to move on after several years. Now, you haven't said how many years it was since this relationship, but to feel that sense of stagnancy or being in the same place for so many years suggests to me that, there's something else that is going on here that you really need to deal with. Now, you may or may not have heard about the concept of soul ties, but you see, soul ties are simply emotional bonds that connect you to somebody else. And usually when you enter into a relationship with someone, there are those emotional bonds that are formed in a relationship. Now, soul ties are not always negative. So, for instance, if a husband and wife are married, they will have a soul tie or that emotional connection. Or I'll give you an example in the scriptures about two people that were bonded together in such a way. In the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 1, it says, "Now when he had finished speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit or connected or tied to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul." So really, God gives us this, this ability to form emotional connections and bonds with people who are healthy for our lives so that we can cultivate healthy relationships. So it will happen if you're married. It will happen if you're in a healthy relationship. Sometimes even in families and with siblings, that sort of thing. But then the thing is, the devil also has a way of corrupting soul ties in such a way that he makes us, if we're not careful, connect in an unhealthy manner to someone to such a degree that it makes it difficult for us to move on from that relationship when we really should be moving on. And it sounds to me as if that's the place where you find yourself in. Now, it's something that you need to actively take certain steps to move on from, so that you can actually be free to love again, because you should not be held back or held bound to a relationship in your past. So a lot of times how you will identify that there's a soul tie is if, for instance, you're constantly comparing every new person that comes into your life with that person that you're in a relationship with before, or maybe you always feel you have to distrust everyone else simply because of that relationship that you have had in your past. Maybe you feel that constant compulsion to always check up on what's happening to them. They've moved on with their life, but you're constantly trying to find out what's happening to them, and all that. Then that suggests that there might be a soul tie there. So what do you do in such a situation? The first thing is this: you need to actually take some time to pray about this and verbally denounce any soul ties that you have formed with this person. Because sometimes when we're in a first relationship, you say, well, I will always love you, I never love anyone else, that sort of thing. We make those sorts of pronouncements without actually recognizing the ramifications of those pronouncements. So I would say the first thing is this: you need to take this before God and spend time, pray about it, and actually verbally renounce any connection, any emotional connection that you still have that is tying you to this person. That's the first thing. Now the second thing is this: you need to make every effort to make sure that you stay completely disconnected from this person. So don't keep checking up to see what's happening with them. Don't keep trying to reconnect with them, that sort of thing, if they've moved on with their life. That's very important. And also, if there are things that remind you of that relationship, maybe there are cards you exchanged, maybe there are gifts you exchanged that you still hold on to and you treasure, then you need to get rid of them so that you can actually remove all those things that remind you of that relationship, and then you can feel free to move on into another relationship. And then also, You've got to make a conscious effort not to make every new person that comes into your life have to pay for the mistakes of, of the past, because that can be challenging if you're always measuring other people that come into your life by that first person, that first love. You've got to make a conscious effort to give every person, that comes into your life the benefit of the doubt, and let them actually be who they are, and show their own uniqueness, rather than, having to measure up to some other standard in your life. So those are a few of the things that you can do, and I trust God, with you, that you will actually be able to move on from this, so that, your heart will be free again and you'll be able to love again. Well, I hope this has helped you. If this has helped you, then please leave me a message on Facebook or on Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or wherever you're watching from. And if you've got a question you would like me to answer, then head on over to tomitalks.com/ask and I'll answer your question next time. See you next time. Bye bye.